So Jeff, if we were to look at a snapshot of if somebody was now getting into broadcasting or somebody already is in broadcasting, what are the different pigeonholes and different areas that they should look at in their reach, in their bouquet or their marketing mix?
Oh, what a question. Depending on what level you're at in media, you certainly need to be on the internet. You need to be podcasting and video casting.
Video casting what? Podcasting what?
Well, you've got to pick what is. You've got to find your product. You've got to find that message that you want to get across. And then you've got to be clear on that. You've got to focus on that. Tunnel vision, if you like. Don't be doing a million and one different things. Focus on that one particular niche to get the result. If you're looking at a traditional radio station, they'll have a target market of, for example, 35 to 55 years old. Traditionally in radio speak, you'll have a spillage 5 years either way. So you get from 30 to 60 years old. Leaves it very, very broad. And not everybody is going to have the same taste. Whereas on the internet, you can be that heavy metal, thrash metal specialist, specialising in Fender guitars, and solely for people living in Arkansas. You can narrow it down to that much. But you've got to, the thing is, you've got to be focused.
And you've got to be visible, otherwise people won't find you.
You've got to be seen, absolutely. And how do you get seen? Use those tools on the internet. Use video.
I like this. Video goes higher in Google rankings than anything else. So it talks about podcasting and using video. What else would you suggest as part of your mix to get out to the public and get out to a community that's interested in your stuff?
Use social media. Use the likes of Facebook. Use the likes of Twitter and LinkedIn. But use them intelligently. LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter, the three leaders, I would imagine.
Add YouTube, which most people don't consider to be a social network.
And YouTube. Absolutely. Look at the impact YouTube's had.
YouTube is bigger than telly, and YouTube is actually a social network that most people don't know. You can have friends on YouTube and talk to each other. The difference is these guys are actually highly productive people who are producing stuff all the time, and one of the great things about social media is you can go directly to the big boys without having to make a phone call, talk to a gatekeeper or a secretary who says no, they're too busy. If you make friends on social media, you can drop a line in and suddenly a two-way conversation starts to happen.
But using this social media, use it intelligently. You're not going to be saying the same thing on Facebook as you're going to be saying on LinkedIn. They're two very different communities. Social media, yes, but LinkedIn is far more focused on the business community. And you'll see that your connections become those people within your circle. They could be living 3,000 miles away, but they're in your industry. They are decision makers within your industry. Facebook tends to be far more relaxed approach to what you're doing today, what you've got planned with the family at the weekend. Twitter, again, is also very different to the other two. Twitter, you'll be using to introduce people to links, to introduce them to your video, to get them to watch your YouTube video. So use that social media intelligently. Focus on your particular message. The language that you use should be different also.
And once you've got your social media, this is all about creating a relationship with somebody that you can monetize. You don't necessarily have to monetize it if you've got money coming in for a normal job. You might just be doing it for fun. But all your social media are ways of setting up communications. Another great, powerful way of doing it is by getting people who are interested in your product or yourself on email. And another way of doing it is through blogging. Video, blog, and email are the triangle for creating that real relationship with people. With a blog, you can tell, or if you don't know a blog, a video blog or a web blog is actually a web diary, a way of putting your thoughts or interests in something so everybody can see it. And when you put it onto your blog site, if you optimize it the right way, it can be then sent out to lots of different sites that are looking for blogs and interesting people. And you get a snapshot of what's on your mind that other people are reading and commenting on. Now this is so phenomenal because in the old days, you had to put up with a DJ talking about whatever he fancied talking about, and that would be the only conversation outside of your immediate friends that you're allowed to have. Yep. Now you can have a conversation with absolutely anybody on any subject, anywhere.
You can bring them into your world. Absolutely, there's the interaction right there. As you mentioned, you've got a guy sitting in a studio, in a radio studio somewhere, not having really much of a clue of who he's addressing, not knowing when people are switching on, when people are switching off. There's no such thing as loyalty, particularly in radio and television. If you say something that people are not particularly interested in, they're going to switch off. If there's a song that's playing on the radio that isn't your song, you're going to go and find your song somewhere else. That's where you as a listener and a viewer are having more empowerment over what gets placed on the internet, what gets heard.
Well, the thing is, if somebody's got a comment about your product or what you've played, then they can make a comment about it and you can react to it. You can run a survey alongside any kind of programming you've got, so people can leave comments. One of the greatest things that we've got now, and this is something that's been added to Facebook, but it's also cropping up on lots of other things, is your ability to like something, your ability to share something, and your ability to recommend something. Those are so powerful. It might not seem like much at all, but that is a great way. If somebody likes your product, then all the people who are close to them as their friends on Facebook will also see that you are talking about a certain product, and it will crop up on them.
Another fascinating thing for me with regards to social media is your ability to see how active you are being and how active people are in looking you up and seeing what you're up to. You can check on LinkedIn, you can check on Facebook, and even on Twitter. You can see how many comments are being sent your way, how many people have clicked on that particular picture or on the video. And if you're seeing that there's a slight reduction in the activity, then it's down to you to pick it up again. It gives you a lot of control over how you present yourself, and it can also alter the direction that you take.
And one of the great ways of getting higher prominence and more impact online is see the people who are doing it and follow them. Even make contact with them, make friendships with them. Don't go in and say, oh please, you're great, because they hate that. Go in at a level where you're talking as friends, especially with celebrities, and they'll appreciate you for that. And they've got access to a lot of people who'd be interested in your stuff if you can prove to that one person that it's good enough. You get access to people in a way that you would never have in conventional life by doing it online, and the way you turn it into money is to drag it offline into something that's tangible. We're in an information age which we've never had before, where all information is ultimately free, but the best information people will pay for. It's a case of getting that best information to the right people. I think for now that's probably enough, isn't it? You've got to go to work, do a radio show.
Be on traditional radio.
And I'll go back to doing Facebook. Until then, look after yourself.
See you.